Hello everybody, welcome to the Pocket Stylist podcast. Today I'm really excited because I'm joined by Jenni. So Jenni and I have been working together for about 3 years now, and we have the most great relationship, I have to say. We could probably chat for hours, but we will try and keep it to a bit of a minimum today. But I wanted to invite Jenni to be a guest on my podcast today because Jenni's kind of gone through a little bit of a journey with your clothing. And I think it's just really interesting to see kind of where you started from, what made you pick up the phone to me, and then how it's all kind of evolved moving over the past 3 years. So Jenni, it's lovely to see you. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to be with you.
I know. Just tell everyone a little bit about you and where you're based and what you do for a job. And it just gives everybody who's listening just a little bit of an insight into you as a person as well.
Sure. So I'm Jenni. I'm based down in Berkshire in the south of the UK. And I run my own business, which is called Redefining Communications. And I've had that business for 4 years. And essentially, I'm a consultant that goes into organisations to help them go from chaos to calm by using the power of communication. And before that, I worked in organisations as communications director, head of communications, all those kind of roles. I also do quite a lot in the PR and comms industry. So I'm the vice president of the Chartered Institute of Public Relations. I've just written a book which is launching. So I do quite a lot around trying to help people, just from an industry perspective as a volunteer, but just to help people and organisations understand the power of communication.
That's really interesting. You mentioned your book because I know, and I can still see the image of you on your Instagram dancing around your book. It was just fantastic. And you know what's lovely? It's, you know, I've worked with you for a good few years now, and it's lovely when I saw the book, and now it's rocketing up the charts, isn't it?
It's not, yeah, it was in the top 10 bestsellers of Amazon the other day. Yeah. So yeah, not too bad.
I was going to say, that's no mean feat, is it? You know, but Jenni, let's go back. Listen, let's go back those few years ago. What made you initially kind of pick up the phone to me and have a chat with me?
So it was about 3 years ago. So I was about a year into the business, and I was starting to really struggle with my identity in clients' offices. So I had about 4 or 5 main clients, and they were quite different. One was like a London-based agency that was very casual, quite trendy. You know, I'm not sure I really fitted in, but that's where that was. And then I had another one who was a large multinational defence organisation, which was very corporate, very traditional. And I was really struggling with working out what to wear to those different places. But it was having an impact on my confidence and my ability to do my job. And I hadn't necessarily joined the dots completely on those two things, but I just struggled every day with what do I wear to this? I'd gone from working in an office where I could have my shoes under my desk. I knew I could just tuck my trainers on to do the commute. I was quite safe in there because you know what you're wearing, to, well, I can't wear trainers to that meeting because it's with that big, large client. And I'm in London, so I don't want to wear heels walking around London because anyone that's doing that knows that's ridiculous. So it was just, there were so many things that were a factor in what I was wearing, how I'd come across, all of those things. So that's what led me to you.
Yeah, and do you know, that's really interesting. You said one thing there about your confidence. And that's so, from my perspective, you know, as a stylist, clothes have the ability to either make us feel fantastic or they make us feel pretty rubbish. And that is where the whole confidence can take a bit of a knock, and it's purely because of what you're wearing and how you're wearing it. And I think it's so important sometimes to kind of, you know, you identified that, didn't you? You kind of thought, oh my God, you know, if I'm going, and I remember coming into your house and sitting on the sofa with a cup of coffee and saying, you know, where are you stuck? And it was literally, wasn't it? It was working out your business.
Yeah.
Your business was new and you wanted to be able to serve both clients, but in a way that you felt comfortable in what you were wearing, so that whether you rocked up to one or rocked up to the other, that you represented your branding, but also you felt confident enough to kind of be the person that you actually are. And then that linked back to your personality, because your personality is fun. You know, you've always got that, we laugh, don't we? You've always got that big smile on your face, you know, that kind of goes from ear to ear. And so my job was always about making sure that I created for you the outfits and everything that made you smile. So that's where we kind of started, didn't we?
Yeah, and do you know what? I will always remember that conversation where you were sat with a coffee on my sofa, and you said to me that really what I was struggling with was the fact that everything was just quite boring in my wardrobe. You said this in a nice way.
Yeah. No, I didn't say it in a nice way.
Yeah. But you could identify that for me, I didn't want to conform into like the rigidity of certain things, and I needed just something that was a touch of difference about my outfit, whether that was a slightly quirky shoe, whether it was an accessory, whether it was a different jacket. And that has kind of just stayed with me forever. So if I go too classic for, which I can sometimes be in just jeans and a shirt, but I don't feel great. You know, I feel great when I'm wearing something that is a little bit edgy, just got a little nod of something else. And it's a bit different because that suits my personality, but I have the confidence to wear that. And that's from the work we've done over the years of you saying, try that on, put that with that. And I go, really? Are you sure? And you go, yes. And then I do it and I go, oh, this really works. It looks great. I feel amazing. Let's go.
Yeah. But do you know what's really interesting? You used the word conform. And that's so interesting. You felt because of the clients that you had, and this goes back to everybody's daily life, you know, people think they need to look a certain way to almost conform with society, whether you're a mum on a school run or you're a lady who's got her own business and, you know, she works with small businesses or whatever. It's never about conform, because actually when you conform, you're not being the person that you are, which is why when we sat down and we chatted that very first time, just by asking you certain questions and also being in your company, I could actually go, do you know what? You are not the rigidity and the formality. And sometimes my role is, you know, one of the biggest parts of my role is to sit and listen. Is to sit and listen and understand. And then you start working with the person to create that different look. What's really interesting about you, we worked, didn't we, very much, and you mentioned it a couple of times, you've said about the trainers, right? And you said, because I'll never forget you saying to me, oh, I'm going into London, but I'm quite happy to put a pair of heels in my bag if I need to. And I said to you, why are you running into London in a pair of trainers and then making sure you've got a big enough tote bag to put your shoes in to change them? Actually, let's work out how we can build these kind of outfits so that you look great. And we went very much down the road, didn't we, with you? And this is it's not everybody, but this is when we worked with you and your personality and what you were doing with the whole jumpsuit and the trainers. You know, and it absolutely suits your personality.
Yeah. But it is about finding those combinations. It's also having the confidence to take that deep breath and just do it. You know, I still remember going into government buildings in London in trainers, which for me is like, oh my God, I'm in trainers, which is ridiculous because people don't really care. Like it's, you know, they're not really that bothered. The biggest thing for me is that since I've embraced my true style, if you like, which goes through my whole wardrobe. It's not just for work, it goes through everything now. The comments and compliments I get nearly every time, whether I'm presenting on a stage, whether I'm going to a wedding, whether I'm just going to my mum's for a barbecue, she'll be like, you always look really nice. Since you've worked with Lisa, everything always looks so put together.
What does your husband say? Doesn't your husband say before Lisa time?
Yes, yeah, he does. And because there's been some things I'll put together that I'll just chuck on. Where I was cold, there was a picture in the lockdown last year where I chucked on a massive jumper over a dress. And he was like, oh God, what's happened? Something's gone horribly wrong. But I was just cold. But yeah, it is. There's a real difference in my wardrobe, and there's a real difference in my confidence in wearing that, because there were things that I used to love, like things like dungarees that I would happily wear all the time. And I'd have some friends that would, you know, be like, really? We're going to wear those? And I'm like, yeah, because I really like them and I feel great in them. So I'm going to do that. And now I have the confidence to say that and do it and not really care so much about what people think. It's more about how I feel.
Yeah. Do you think though now that your wardrobe literally is, isn't it? It's one of those places now. If I said to you, right, Jenny, Friday, you are going to an event, or actually you're just going to have a really nice coffee with your mum because you can now, you can go and sit in the garden. Your wardrobe now, you can open it up and go, oh, actually, that's fine because I could wear A, B, C. Do you find your wardrobe now, and you know, we have done wardrobe consultations throughout the time, and do you find it quite a cathartic place to be now? Quite a very calming place to be, whereas before did it tend to be a little bit more kind of chaotic?
Yeah, it was also somewhere where I wouldn't have stuff that I loved. And I still remember when you said to me, I think probably the first meeting, where you said, if you will always put it back and choose something else, it needs to go. And that stays with me. So I put on a top the other day and went, I'm not wearing this. And I thought, I've done this several times, so it needs to go in the charity bag, because if there's always something else I'm going to choose over it, it's not worth keeping. So my wardrobe is now full of things that I will always wear. And it just makes life easier for me. Like if I'm speaking online, if I'm going for coffee with mum, whatever it is, I know I've got all options of things that I really want to wear that I feel really comfortable in. And that's probably the biggest difference. I'm not faced with stuff that is, oh God, I don't want to wear any of this. It's more, oh God, what do I wear? I've got so much choice now.
Yeah, and I know that, you know, and that's my job. You know, my job is to make you all open up your wardrobe and go, I love it, and be able to, you know, still see things in the shops. You know, I saw something the other day in the shops, and I took the picture and pinned it straight over to you because I thought, oh my God, that's just going to suit her. But then it's working with that whole personality, the lifestyle, the body shapes, you know, as well from your body shape point of view. We know that actually defining your shoulders is just the best thing. Yeah. And even now, there's probably very few, if any, tops or dresses or anything you have in your wardrobe that doesn't define your shoulders, because it is just perfect.
No, and do you know, it was last year when we were doing quite a lot of work together, because I was doing kind of monthly video updates in my role with the Chartered Institute. And I remember saying to you, I hate it. This one is not a good one. What have I done wrong? And you said you haven't got the shoulders in. So I was like, right, we need to talk about every outfit we now wear for all of these. Because again, it's like I just didn't feel great. I didn't have that confidence. I didn't feel like I was really being me. And I think when you're talking to people, meeting people in whatever, you know, stage of life you're in, whether you're just meeting the school mums, whether you're meeting someone new for a day, you know, whatever it is, that feeling of I feel great, for me, is completely linked to the clothes that I'm wearing. Yeah. Also my weight at the time, but you know, it's a constant journey, but it is so much about the clothes that I'm wearing.
Yeah, and do you know that goes back, and it's so interesting. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows I bang on about it. It doesn't matter whether you buy Primark or whether you buy Prada. If you feel good in it, that's what it is. And what's really interesting, you've said the word again, it's feel. It's how does something make you feel? And it could be, you know, just a necklace. It could be your Apple Watch that you wear all the time, or it could be anything. And you know what? It's really interesting because there is one outfit for me that just blows my mind. And I know you're smiling, see, you know which one I'm going to mention. The outfit that we put together for that event, what was the event? Remind me again.
It was an event called the Simply Communicate Summit, and I was co-presenting for the day. It was an online event broadcast around the world, and I was in a studio for that alongside my co-host. And I didn't know what to wear because people were going to see me full length for the first time in about 8 months.
For the full, in a long time. But what was really interesting, and see, even then, you knew what outfit I was going to talk about. Yeah. We hadn't kind of chatted about this one. No. But what's really interesting, I'll never forget, you messaged me and said, I've got to do this. Literally on a WhatsApp, didn't you? I've got to do this. What do you think? And we literally jumped on a Zoom call the next day, and you had in your wardrobe a beautiful floral electric blue jumpsuit. And so we knew it worked for you. We knew it fitted your shape. Quickly, you didn't have to suddenly think, oh no, I need to go and buy it, because we know what's in your wardrobe works. And I said to you, right, we're going to put it together with an orange jacket. And I remember you going, really? You know, and I said, honestly, it will look stunning. And it did, didn't it? I mean, the compliments that you got, it just, look, it made the impact. It made the fact that it suited everything about you. And was it, you know, it was, wasn't it? One of those outfits you put on and you felt confident in all day. And it was striking, wasn't it? It made a statement, but boy, did it work.
Yeah, and I remember as well, because I'd said to you, oh, it's November, and this is a jumpsuit I'd only wear in the summer. And you were like, but why? and again, stayed with me, because I thought, God, I'm really good at segmenting my wardrobe in kind of winter, summer. But actually, the way you compare stuff, do things together, you don't need to do that. So that was a real lesson for me. And I do remember I paired it with like some sparkly trainers, which I, again, probably wouldn't have done before, but it did. It was one of those outfits that everybody was like, oh my God, this outfit just looks amazing. It was very on brand for me. My brand is about being bold. So that was really good. And I felt really comfortable in it all day, and can't wait to wear it again. Although I worry that I've done it now. It's had the impact. Now I can't do it again.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can do it again, but you can change the jacket.
Yes.
Or put something underneath it, or change the shoes. And this is where, you know, you can really now make a wardrobe work. Yes, it was incredibly impactful what we put together, but it's the way it's been done. So, you know, yeah. I think from having this lovely chat with you, it just goes, you know what, it goes to prove that clothes can make a massive impact on somebody's life. And sometimes it's just, isn't it? It's almost sometimes having that courage to just kind of pick up the phone and identify and go, do you know what, that's just not quite working. Yeah. How else can I make it work? Because clothes are all about giving you the confidence, making you feel good. And it really doesn't matter whether, you know, wherever you buy it from, it makes no odds. You know, you could go to a charity shop, or you can do anything, but clothes need to make you feel confident, positive mindset, and work for you.
And for me, it's one of the things that when I talk about the business, or I talk about me as a person, or how things have changed and my confidence, I always talk about you and investing in a stylist, because I'm like, there's probably two things you can do in your life to make you feel better. One is probably, you know, get a coach generally for life, business, whatever. It's always helpful. But invest in a stylist, because even though for a lot of people go, really, that feels really extra, you know, you've got a stylist, but actually it's you know, I'm a big fan of paying people and investing in the right expertise to help you. And whilst I can go and pick up clothes and find things, there is an expertise to it that I don't have, and therefore investing in that to help me feel and look amazing, whether it's at a wedding, whether it's speaking at an event, whether it's to go to a black tie dinner, whatever it is, that is the best piece of advice I can give people. And it comes up again and again and again.
Yeah, what a lovely way to finish our chat together. And you know what we said, didn't we? You and I could chat forever. Yeah. And I do. I absolutely love working with you, because we just now have that friendship, that rather than a business relationship, we have a friendship because we've got to know each other. And it's a journey, isn't it? It's a bit of a journey. We start at A and we're working our way through to C, you know, and B and D and all of those types of things. So Jenni, thank you so much for coming and chatting to me. It's been a complete pleasure seeing you again. I hope everybody has enjoyed listening to the conversation today. Please come back next week for some more style and fashion hints and tips. Jenni, thank you so much. Love to everybody, and see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you.